that option.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
live now.
Okay, cool. We're live. Awesome. So, hello everyone. Welcome to this awesome Christmas movie hangout Q&A thing where we're just gonna be talking about like Christmas movies, some of our favorite, just like favorite Christmas movies, and yeah, I'm joined today by Ryan, and we were supposed to have Mike, but something came up, and so unfortunately he can't make today, but we will try to get Mike on here at some point. So yes. Ryan, how you doing today?
Doing good, man. Thanks for inviting me on again. Appreciate it.
Yes. Yes. You're like my YouTube BFF right now. So
Man, I appreciate it. Sure. I always appreciate an invite on anybody's channel.
yeah. So to start this off, what are some of your favorite Christmas movies, Ryan?
So, growing up for me, I think a lot of people have this on their list, but Home Alone 1 and 2 for sure. I think I've watched those probably 2 dozen, 3 dozen times at least. I used to watch them with my grandma all the time. My son has been introduced to them now. He's now watched all 6 of those things. So,
Oh, yeah, like one and two are really good, and then I enjoy number three, but then
mhm.
after that, like four, five, and six are like, no.
Yeah, like the fifth one is like so bad, isn't it? Like I think the fifth one, I've only watched the four through six once, but I think the fifth one isn't like when he's looking for like a ghost or something like that. I think
Yeah,
it's something
yeah,
like
because it's
that.
like the painting in the basement, and they like
Yeah,
tricks the robbers at the house. It's no,
it's pretty bad.
yeah. Anything after three, I'd choose to not acknowledge.
Yeah, I can tolerate
Yeah.
three, but one and two are, they're always there. But I always prefer the second over the first. I just love the New York kind of atmosphere. Um, and I don't know. I love that he's lost in New York. He went on the wrong plane, and he's
Yeah,
got a. I love that he sets up all the traps in like that old dingy
yeah,
apartment,
yeah, yeah.
and it's in like the armpit of the city, and it's just. I just love the traps in that one. I don't know what else. I just
Yeah.
love when he's up on the on top of the building
The throwing the
and
bricks down.
throwing the bricks down at him or whatever.
Yeah.
And
It
it's just
it's
funny.
like one of those movies where like it's kind of like the exact same thing as the first movie, but it
Yeah,
works. Where it's like where you could like say like, oh yeah, Home Alone 2 is exactly the same as the first movie, but it's like but it works and it still is great. It's
I
just as
agree.
great. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I just always enjoyed those growing up. I mean, I love like they call themselves the wet bandits, and they're the sticky bandits, and it's just it's just funny. There's just so many funny things about it. It's just it always gets me in the mood for Christmas. Like even if it's not Christmas, I'm popping that on and watching it because it's just those are classics right there for me.
Yeah, those are certainly two of my favorites.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Mike in the chat. He's here in spirit. Yay. Awesome. Hope you enjoyed Avatar. Hope you enjoyed it.
No spoilers. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, don't spoil it for Ryan. What would you say is a terrible Christmas movie that you've seen?
A
Oh,
terrible one.
I'll tell you one that I just watched the other day. It's like
Um.
on Shudder. It's called Christmas Bloody Christmas. That movie
Oh, dude, I just watched
sucked.
that today. Dude, that movie was
Oh,
horrible.
it was so bad. It's
The
like
dialogue was awful in that
I was
movie.
watching. I was like, this is like the Terminator. If it sucked,
Yeah, it was.
just
I gave that thing a half star, dude. That thing
I
was
think I
shit.
think I gave it like a 1 star. I was like,
It's
oh,
bad.
it was so
the
bad.
the biggest thing that annoyed me about that movie is so like the first 30 minutes they're just sitting there like cussing and they're like talking about
Yeah,
like all these like sexual things and I'm like and not that like I'm not like mature about that but it's just like dude look who talks like this, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It
um
was
it, it's just so dumb and like um I
the
also
kills weren't
thought
even
that
that good.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The kills were pretty basic. It was pretty basic kills. I thought he looked like a dork, like the whole robot thing, and like,
Yeah, it
especially towards like when it gets towards the end or whatever, and the whole fire part and the explosion, and like he's like still going, and it's like this is just dumb. I mean,
yeah, like it's not even a robot
yeah,
until you get to like the last 5 minutes, and it's just
yeah.
I was like, What? Like, I've totally forgot it was a robot until the last 5 minutes, and I was like, I'd already checked out at that point. I'm like, yeah, this movie sucks. There's nothing in the last 5 minutes that can
Yeah,
redeem this movie. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's a robot. Cool.
yeah, it was really bad. I mean, I didn't have high hopes for it. I didn't watch a trailer for it. My buddy told me about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I saw it. It came out in my theaters." And I was telling him that I was like, "Dude, don't bother going to a theater and watching that and paying $15, $14, whatever you pay, because it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, it was
uh,
in theaters near here like
yeah,
last week or something. I
hmm
considered going after just watching it on stream. I'm like, thank God I didn't spend the cheap $5 to see it.
yeah. That
That's not
movie
worth it.
has became into the top 10 worst films of the year for sure.
It pushed Morbius out of my top 10 worst of the year. It's the movie that pushed
Oh,
Morbius
I've
out.
seen much worse than Morbius. Morbius isn't even in the top 10. I've seen much worse. So,
Yeah,
um,
like I think I think I have Morbius at like 1.5 star on Letterboxd. I don't
mhm.
have many like 1 or 1/2 stars.
I got
So
5 half stars this year.
damn, you watch some crap movies, man.
Yeah. Oh man, my number one is really bad. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's
I won't say like I watch like a ton of like Christmas movies at all the time. I kind of stick to like most of them, but like I didn't even realize how many horror Christmas movies that are like underground and stuff like that. There's some other
like
ones I
most
want to
of
watch.
like all the Silent Night, Deadly Night sequels. I haven't seen any of those.
I didn't even know about those till this year.
I just watched the first two Silent Night, Deadly Night movies
How are
the
those?
other day. Um, I think I prefer the second one over the first one, but like
Hmm.
half of the second one is just re-showing you what happened in the first movie using footage from the first movie.
Oh.
So it's kind of odd. It's like the first half of it is like really not that good at all.
Hmm.
It's like I've already seen this. Then the second half is just like so bad it's terrible. It's good.
Right.
Like it's one of those type of deals. The first one's just kind of like cool generic slasher movies from the 80s
Hmm.
Christmas theme. So yeah, nothing too special. Probably won't check out anything past that.
Yeah, I had never heard of them until this year. And I have a few other on my list. I think Shutter put a few on there that I'm interested in checking out. I think there's like a Christmas Evil on there. Um, there's some other ones too. Like I know Tubi has one called The Killing Tree that I'm interested in checking out. Um,
Oh, like some other like really bad Christmas movies that I love are the two horror movie Jack Frosts. Like
okay,
those movies are so bad,
I've never
but
seen them. I've heard
but
of them.
I have a blast with them. Yeah, I somehow convinced my cousins to watch them with me on Christmas like 2 years ago.
Mm.
It's just so bad.
Yeah, I've never, like I said, I've heard of those, but I've never watched them before. Yeah, I wouldn't say like I've watched like a ton of like horror Christmas movies. I mean, the ones that like come to mind that I've watched recently that I really liked, obviously the original Black Christmas from
Love that
1974.
one.
I
Love
just
that
got
one.
that one on 4K, and I've watched that movie twice now, so I've enjoyed it. It is a slower kind of pace kind of movie, but for that time period and
Yeah,
what
for
it
like
was
the
trying to,
70s.
yeah, for that time period and what it was trying to accomplish, I think it accomplishes that well. So, I mean, I heard there's a 2005 remake, which I'd never seen. And then I've
Mhm.
watched the 2019 version, which was not good. But
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
saw the 2019 one in theaters. I don't remember. That was like the I watched the 2019 one in theaters, watched the
mhm,
original one on streaming a few years after that, and then I've never seen the 2005 one.
yeah, I didn't even
Um,
know there was a third one, so I thought there was just two. So that
yeah,
was news to me. And then the other horror movie, Christmas movie that everybody knows is Krampus, of course. So
Krampus is great.
Krampus, yeah. So and I've seen that I think 3 times now. So and I like it every time. I love that whole the family dynamic, and they come over and they're annoying them, and you can tell they don't want them over, and
Mhm.
like that the bigger lady that is like a pain in the ass in that movie.
Oh,
How
yeah,
she's
like the aunt.
yeah,
Yeah.
she makes all the snooty comments and
But
stuff
she's
like
like the
that.
funniest part of the movie too.
Yeah, she
Yeah, she
is, and like
cracks
she's
me
making
up.
fun of like her cooking and stuff, and
Mhm.
yeah, I like that world too, like where where they take them under the like their little underworld, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah,
Um,
like yeah.
so I mean, it's a classic, and yeah, I mean, I like watching those. I think what else on my list? Jingle All the Way, I really like. That's
Oh, with
one of the
Arnold,
few.
yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the few Arnold movies that I've seen. I haven't seen a lot of his movies. A lot of people like really love him, but I haven't watched a lot of his movies mainly because I just didn't really grow up with him. Because a lot of his movies are from like the early '80s and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
just didn't watch a lot of those action kind of flicks. I didn't grow up with them. Um, so and like when I grew up too, I was watching a lot of like kid movies and like different stuff. I wasn't watching
Yeah.
80s action, and
Yeah.
my parents weren't really into like movies that much either. Um, so a lot of the stuff that I've kind of just discovered on my own and just kind of figured out and stuff. So there's a lot of classic movies that I haven't watched from the '80s. I'm sure there's a ton of Arnold ones that I haven't ever watched before. But I always love Jingle All the Way. Um, I love that whole Christmas spirit too with that one. I loved what's his name in that? Sinbad, I think is his name.
Oh, yeah, like the mailman
The male
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just they're fighting over the
Yeah.
Turbo Man. Like it's funny when you look and watch that now because now, everything is like pretty much shifted to online when it comes to like buying things for
Yeah, like
Christmas
shopping
presents.
stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
Compared to then when like retail was like a big thing on like you had to get that last minute toy or you know that was how people shopped, you know what I mean? Like they went to the stores. And Christmas now it's a little bit different because a lot of people, they don't go to the stores as much. They're ordering online or like the store is kind of like the second option, I feel like. So it's just interesting to see that movie in perspective compared to where we are now with Christmas shopping, and just how they're fighting over the doll and everything like that. So yeah,
I haven't watched that one in a few years, but yeah, that one's real
yeah,
good.
it's been a little bit, but I do own it, so I definitely would love to revisit it again. But I've watched it a good amount of times, I would say. Um, so yeah, trying to think of any other Christmas movies that I have on my list.
I thought of another terrible Christmas movie to answer Mike's question here.
Which one?
Spirited.
Oh, that was
But,
bad.
I didn't like that. It was just I'm not into musicals, but I don't know. It's just like I didn't like the twist on the
Mhm,
what's it called? Christmas Carol story.
mhm.
It's like no.
Well, I thought they couldn't sing, neither one of them. Like
Oh
Will Ferrell or Ryan Reynolds. I was like, they can't sing. They can't hold a tune or anything.
yeah.
It's just
Sometimes that's weird to me, like putting high profile actors in a musical. It's like, are you just casting them because they actually fit the part and they can like do the part, or is it just there so you can sell more tickets and get people interested in your movie? Like, I'd
right.
rather have you put someone in a musical that can like sing and dance extremely well
Mhm.
rather than Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. Like, I love both those guys, but they just aren't the right part for that movie.
Yeah, I mean I liked both of them as well. That movie to me, I thought the music was really annoying and it was too long and I never like got the Christmas spirit with that one. I just that one's in the top fives for half stars, by the way. So
Give that a half star.
I think it was a
Dang.
half star or 1 star. It was one of them. But
Either way, it's in the bottom of the year.
either way, it's in the top 10. I mean, it's terrible. I'm glad I didn't see it in a theater. That's all with
You
that
didn't
one.
watch that one in the theater?
No, 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 no.
I did because it was like free for the movie thing I have.
Oh, okay. So you
It
didn't
was
pay
free that
anything.
week, and I was like, "Ah, cool, I'll go see this." And I was like, "Oh God."
Yeah, I don't know, and even in general, the Apple Plus, they don't really have like a ton of stuff either. So,
Yeah.
um,
The only thing
I'm,
I've watched on Apple Plus, I've watched two other things on Apple Plus. I watched Cherry last year, which is like the Russo brothers movie, and then Coda when I watched all the Best Picture nominees this year. Cherry was fine, and then Coda was actually really damn good.
I've
I'm
heard
pretty
both
sure.
of. I've heard Coda's really good. I've never watched it, and Sherry, I heard about last year, but I didn't hear like the best of things, so I just never watched it.
You get a POV shot of Tom Holland's butthole in that movie. It's
Oh,
great.
great! That's great.
Got another one from Mike on my drive home listening to you guys. Awesome. Avatar for me was so awesome. I have so many reasons why, other than I really enjoyed the movie, which are personal to me. We'll share in a huge review. Yeah,
Sounds good, man.
it's a long movie, so I can imagine it'd be a long review. I'm pretty sure my review is like 5 minutes longer than what I normally do.
Yeah, my favorite Christmas movie is Thor: Love and Thunder, The Legend of Heartfire in Amsterdam.
Yes. Yes, all three of your favorites.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Christmas morning when you get to open those presents under your tree.
Oh man, frisbees for everybody.
If you could make a Christmas movie, what would the plot be and who would you cast?
Ooh,
Hmm.
let me think about that one. I probably would just do like, I mean,
And I don't know. I'd kind of be interested to see if they could pull off like a legacy sequel to Home Alone, where we get like how they did with like Halloween, where you get all the original people back and whatever, and just wipe away all the crappy sequels. Do the same thing with Home Alone, even though 3 isn't crappy. Just get rid of 4, 5, and 6, and you bring back like Macaulay Culkin and like Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, and you could do something like that, even though Macaulay Culkin's uh, grown up now, and the other
mm,
two are like, I don't know, in their 80s or something. I don't know. It probably wouldn't work, but I would love to see it just because I love those first two movies.
it would be tough for me to like to figure out what I want to do because I love horror, but I wouldn't mind like doing like a rom com either. Um, so like I guess it depends on which genre I would do, because I feel like for horror you can kind of get like any old actors for the most part, just because most people don't usually care about the acting in a horror movie anyway. For the most part, I mean, unless it's just obviously really bad and low budget, then it's very noticeable. But I mean, you can get away with like B movie actors in like a horror like slasher.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it would just depend. But if I was a director, I mean, I would be casting all the hot babes that I like.
Yes.
Be like Emma
Yes.
Stone, Amanda Seyfried, Jennifer Lawrence. I mean, like,
The
but
greatest movie. This sounds like the greatest movie ever. I'll fund you. I'll fund you.
yeah. So Margaret Robbie, I don't know.
Speaking of Margot Robbie, are you excited for the Barbie movie next year? They
I've heard.
released a
I mean, I
trailer
haven't seen
today.
it. Is there a trailer out yet for
Yeah, they
that?
just released it today.
Okay.
That's why I thought of that.
Okay. Yeah. I honestly I haven't been watching like really any of the new trailers for most of the movies, just because I kind of like to go in blind. Like some of them I know like I'm not gonna check out. Like next year, I feel like there's a lot of sequels that I particularly don't really care about that much. I don't know. There's just some sequels that I think like they're beating to death, like
Yeah,
Transformers.
yeah. I was about to say Transformers. Yeah.
Like I have no interest in that. Like I probably will not watch that. Like I just don't have any interest. I didn't
Yeah.
watch Bumblebee, so and
Bumblebee is actually good.
I've heard it's good.
Yeah,
The
Bumblebee's
thing is
actually.
with those movies, the first originals, the first like two, they had like all the same actors, but like as they keep going on, they keep bringing in all these different actors and all these different leads. And I know the movie isn't about the humans and everything, but I don't know. It's just so much. It's just too much. So like I've just
Yeah,
kind of lost interest in it.
that's a franchise that took like a really steep nosedive real quickly.
Yeah, and then what you have John Wick 4 coming out. I feel like that's totally unnecessary at this point. I
That
know a
might
lot of people
be
love it.
that might be my favorite, my most anticipated movie next year. But
Yeah,
yet again, I'm like I adore the first two John Wick movies, and I really
Yeah,
enjoy the
they had a
third one.
purpose.
So it's like one of my favorite franchises, probably my
Mhm,
favorite like just straight up action franchises of the John Wick movies.
mhm,
So even though there's a part of me that's like, I wish you just close it out in three and just like had like this perfect trilogy,
mhm.
I'm still gonna be excited and I'll take more John Wick movies. It's like one of those sort of deals.
Well, you better get excited because they're making 4 and 5.
Yeah, yeah, they're making five too. So hopefully they're
So,
good. Hopefully they're good. I
yeah,
don't know.
and, like, I'm trying to think what else, like, Creed 3, I could care less,
I
you
haven't
know?
even seen any of the Rocky movies, so
I haven't either, but I've seen the first I watched the first Creed, and I was like, "This is alright." The second one, I was kinda like, "Eh," and then, like, I don't know, just I don't really care about it, and then Fast 10, I mean, come on, like, cut it out already, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so many
Right.
sequels that I don't care about, really. Um, and there'll be some of them that I'll just I mean, there's some of them that I know I particularly won't watch at all, but, I mean, it just depends. Um, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how next year is. I mean, I've only seen a couple trailers for things next year, so,
Hmm.
um, it'll be interesting.
Yes. So you have shared some of your favorite Christmas movies. I'm going to share some of mine
Go
as
for
well.
it.
So we already touched on Home Alone, but those are two of my favorites. Nightmare Before Christmas. It's one of my
Mhm,
absolute favorites. Black Christmas we kind of touched on. That one's great. Die Hard's awesome. Um, I have like two movies that I wouldn't necessarily say are like amazing movies, but they're movies I love because of like nostalgia reasons.
mhm,
Um, this stop motion animation movie called Year Without a Santa Claus.
mm,
It's like it's like a family tradition. Like every single first snowfall of the year, you have to watch that movie that night, and it's only like 50 minutes long, so it's not very long. It's from like the 70s, so
hmm,
it's just like pure nostalgia is the reason why I love that movie.
mhm,
So that's one, and then another one, I think it's from the 80s. It's called Claymation Christmas. And like my grandparents have the VHS at their house, and
mhm.
my cousins and I will literally watch this VHS like every year just because we think it's funny, this Claymation Christmas thing. So those are like two things I just have a lot of
Yeah,
nostalgia for Christmas time.
I've never heard of those ones actually before, so those would be new to me.
Yeah, yeah, not a whole lot of people have heard of them, but I don't know, they're just, like, very special ones to me that I
Yeah,
just
what
have
you
to.
grew up on.
Yeah, that you have to watch. Do you have any Christmas movies like that that are, like, traditions that you have to watch every year?
Pretty much Home Alone and I like watching Elf.
Elf's a good one, yeah.
Elf. Trying to think. I'm Grinch. I feel like I watch every year.
Which
Uh, J-
which which
the Jim
Grinch?
Carrey. Yeah, I feel like I watch that every year.
I haven't seen the Illumination one, the latest one. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that one is a lot different than all the other ones for sure. Um, I mean, I own it, but um, I think that one didn't get as many good ratings as some of the other ones. But
Yeah, I haven't heard the greatest things about it, but
yeah, I wouldn't say it's anywhere near as good as some of the other ones. And then you can't forget, the mean one. That one's out right now.
I I
Not
I'm
for
so
dollars.
jealous. I'm so jealous that you got to see that. Like,
Yeah.
it, there's no theaters anywhere near me. Like, I've checked on the Mean Ones website where it has a listing of all the theaters that it's at. There's none in like my state or the surrounding states. It's like, come on.
Oh
Like,
wow.
it's not on streaming. It's like, oh,
I'm sure it'll hit streaming like quick.
I hope so. I hope so because it just looks like a total schlock fest that would be fun to watch. I'm
Oh,
not
dude, it's
expect
terrible.
I'm not expecting it to be great at all, but it's just like one of those things where it's like, I know this is going to be awful. I just want to
Yeah.
watch it though.
Yeah. Be prepared for Jello blood.
Mm, yeah.
So
Yeah. Listen to your review of that. I'm like, yeah, this sounds exactly what I expect. A really, really terrible low budget horror movie.
It's what it was. I think it's funny that the person that played Cindy is the stunt double for Ronda Rousey. I was like, wow, this is interesting. So,
Like the
yeah, I
only
mean,
thing that's like interesting about that movie, well, I guess there's two things. Is that one, it's a Grinch horror movie, and two, it's what's his face? David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown.
yeah, yeah, that's what
Otherwise,
drew. I think that's what drew everybody into that movie because he was in it because they knew that he would own that role, which he does, no doubt. Like, I mean, he has a way of owning roles and not having to talk or
yeah,
dialogue.
yeah,
So, yeah, he's becoming like a horror, like indie
like
icon.
a yeah, like a I don't know, like a horror alumni. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but probably
Yeah,
what you said's more accurate, like horror indie icon.
yeah, he's like a horror indie icon. He's on the rise, and then they're making the third Terrifier, so that's going to be interesting whenever they get to that.
Yeah,
Um,
I
I
can't
just
wait
hope it
for it.
doesn't get ruined like with a bigger budget. That's
Yeah,
the
with the
only
bigger
worry.
budget, yeah. I want them to like stay the way they are, the first
Yeah.
two. At least, yeah, pretty fun. Um, all right. Are there any Christmas movies that like Christmas classics that you've never seen before?
I have never seen. Trying to think. I think there's one called like White Christmas or something like that. I've never seen that one.
I don't
Or
think
is
I've
that?
seen that one either.
Trying to see what. Let's see what pops up. What
I know I haven't seen what's it called? A Christmas Story. I haven't seen that.
I have seen that. I've seen it once. So I don't have it fresh on my mind right now. Oh, I know one of the. Let's see. One of the popular Christmas movies. Yeah, a lot of these I haven't seen that are popping up. There's one on here called Christmas in Connecticut from 1945. It happened on Fifth Avenue. Um, Miracle on 34th Street. I've never seen.
Oh yeah, I've never seen that one either.
Let's see. Meet Me in St. Louis. I've never seen, which I'm supposed to be doing a watch along for that in a couple weeks. So I'm gonna see that for the first time. I believe that is technically a Christmas movie. Let's
Oh,
see.
I've never seen Scrooged with Bill Murray before.
I haven't seen that one either. I did watch Gremlins for the first time this year.
Oh, what do you think of Gremlins?
I did like it.
Yeah, I've always liked Gremlins, but it's never been like one of my favorites.
No, it's not one of my favorites, but it's just funny. Gizmo's like the cute little gremlin, and then
The rules that make no
the
sense.
rules. Can't feed them after midnight.
Can't get them wet.
Let's see what else is on here.
Right.
Like I haven't watched a lot of these holiday specials of like different cartoons, like Shrek the Halls and like Beauty and the Beast Christmas. Like I haven't watched any of that stuff.
I wonder, I wonder if Mike has seen the Minions Christmas special.
Oh, I'm sure that's on the top of his list.
Yeah, for favorite Christmas
Every
movies.
year he says Minions. There's
The Christmas classic.
yeah. Mike, if you're still in here, man, we gotta do a collab on the Minions Christmas special.
Yes, live watch along.
Live
And-
watch along with the Minions. I would love to see him watch that.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else Christmas wise. Really that I haven't watched or that that's big. A lot of Christmas movies now are like they're like on streaming and stuff like Netflix. They do a ton of different ones.
There's not a whole lot of Christmas movies that go to theaters.
No,
Like the only one that went to theaters was Violent Night this year.
Yeah, Violent Night was pretty good for what it was. But I just don't think that's a movie that I would watch over and over, or it becomes like a Christmas classic. just because like I don't see myself like because it doesn't have that strong of a plot really in general. Like it's pretty thin in the plot of
Hmm.
the whole the whole reasoning why Scrooge is there. It's pretty thin, and
Yeah.
then it doesn't help that like majority of the characters are pretty unlikable because they're all like, I don't know what it is, but Hollywood's been taking a stab at rich people lately. So between that and the menu,
Oh
um,
yeah, the menu.
yeah, they've been taking stabs at the rich. Um, so yeah, like they're not really any likable characters. I mean, Scrooge and Santa make that movie, and then the little girl in there with the
Hmm.
whole Home Alone tribute that like makes the movie, and then just the fact that it's a ridiculous plot that he used to be like a Norseman or whatever like that or a
Yeah, like
Viking
a
or whatever.
Viking. Yeah, that's kind
Yeah,
of what I
like
got from it.
it's so out there.
Yeah. Like
But
I
like,
understand everything that you're
mhm,
saying about the movie, but like I knew walking into it like okay, like it's not gonna be like life-changing or whatever like
yeah,
that. Like I knew exactly what I was walking into and it was everything that I signed up for, so I just had a great time with it. Plus like my theater was extremely packed and for some reason extremely rowdy that night. And
hmm,
so everyone was like laughing and like cheering and stuff. It was like it was the most random thing. Like Violent Night out of all night, like out of all movies, has like this really hyper crowd. Like it
yeah.
was
I didn't have that kind of experience. I only had 6 people in my theater. I went at like a 4 o'clock showing, like I think it was like on a Saturday night maybe. And me and my wife went. My wife doesn't go to the movies that much, but I was like, I pretty much forced her hand. I'm like, you're going, you're watching this. Sometimes I'll just take her out like on a date, and I'm like, you're going, and you're gonna go with me. And some things I understand, like she's not gonna go watch Avatar. That's too long for her. She can't sit through that. But I was like, you're gonna go to this, but she didn't really like it though. It wasn't her kind of humor, Violent Night. So
Mhm.
um, it was just interesting because I was like really the only one laughing in the theater, and everybody else was quiet. And
Yeah,
when it was over, and no one said anything. Or it was kind of weird. It was a weird experience.
yeah.
Uh,
I can imagine it not being for everyone, but like
yeah,
if you're into that sort of stuff, then I think you'll enjoy it.
yeah. I think it just depends. It just depends like on your humor. Um, I just think from like I was saying from a point of like story or reasoning, it's not that great, but like it is pretty over the top for what it is.
Oh, 100% over the
Yeah,
top.
it's over the top. I mean, I would catch it on streaming again, but it just isn't one that I would put in the classic list, or I wouldn't be talking about it every Christmas or anything like that. So, but for what it was, I mean, I enjoyed it. So,
Yeah. But yeah,
but
like you said, there's not that many
no, I
Christmas
mean,
movies that come to theaters that much, which I don't know. It's kind of sad. I wish we got some more Christmas movies because sometimes it just feels like we're just rewatching the same Christmas movies all over. Like we haven't had like a brand new Christmas classic, I guess,
yeah.
since in
I
forever.
think I would say I think part of that is because a lot of times the Christmas movies are comedy, and comedy is like really dicey now, like because of
And there's not a whole lot of comedies that come out.
in general. So that's why you get a certain kind of movie. You get a lot of franchises because that's what people go to watch. And we were actually having a conversation today with my friend about movies and just like how the theater is now. And it's to the point now where they've made it so easy for people to stay home. Like for instance, Bones and All came out the last week of November. It's already out on streaming to watch. So what people are doing is they're skipping those kinds of movies, and they'll watch them on streaming or watch them at home rather than doing a date night to go out and watch them.
Same thing when they do like a day and date release, like on the streaming service and in theaters.
Yeah, they're watching it at home. Um, so that's why like the stuff that's doing well, it's Avatar, it's Black Panther, it's
All
you
the high
know
profile stuff.
familiar stuff because people. I think a lot of times people prefer a movie that is a little bit more familiar to them because they know if it's something, if they've liked the past movies, then they know they'll have somewhat of interest, I guess, is the way I classify it.
Yeah, instead of
But I
like
also,
checking out stuff that they never saw a trailer for, like
right.
something that's
But I
more
also think with the
independent.
theater too now, it depends on word of mouth too. Like for instance, Smile was like 17 million it cost to make that, but Smile did well because of good word of mouth and also the good promotion that it had too. So I
Same
think
with
like it,
Terrifier 2. Like that
yeah,
movie was entirely word of mouth with how much it
right.
made.
And
Which
that's
it didn't make massive numbers at the box
no,
office, but considering what its budget was, it did insanely well.
which is why horror movies are always around. They won't go away because they, you're not putting top notch. You're not putting freaking George Clooney in a horror movie or Jennifer
Yeah,
Aniston in a horror
yeah.
movie.
So it's not going to
Uh,
cost you a whole lot to get all
yeah.
these
So
actors
then
in.
it just becomes a thing of depending on the horror movie, like how much you spend, like if you're building sets or if you're filming on
The
location or
or like your practical effects,
yeah, like
if you choose to use
um
them, which they should. No
yeah,
CGI, no CGI. Though.
yeah, and it just depends on the movie. But yeah, I think that's why you have so many Christmas movies on streaming. Netflix is like famous for having Hallmark and Netflix. Like those are the two right there. There's a ton of stuff on Netflix
Well,
that's Christmas.
now kind of Disney Plus, or at least this year, where they have
Mhm,
like the Christmas Story Christmas, and then the
mhm.
Santa Clauses and the
Yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Seems like they're pushing out a lot of Christmas stuff this year.
yeah, and that again, like the Christmas special for the Guardians, it's watchable and it's good for what it is. But again, it's not a classic. It's not something I probably won't ever watch it again, to be honest with you, because it's short and sweet and it does what it's supposed to do, entertain you for that 40 to 50
Yeah,
minutes.
like 45 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. But beyond that, it's not something we're going to be sitting here talking about 10 years from now. And I think there's a lot of Christmas movies now that probably a lot of people haven't heard of because, again, a lot of that stuff falls under streaming and like Hallmark and stuff. Um, and I think with Netflix, like you just have to like pick through some of the movies. Like some of them are going to be better than others. And, sometimes they'll just get a big actor. Like I think Lindsay Lohan just did one that I want to check out. I don't know how good it is. I haven't heard any reviews, but um, just like if you get like a big star like that or a familiar face, people will watch it. So I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of like the future for Christmas movies, or at least for a while. Because the last Christmas movie that I can remember in theaters that I saw, besides Violent Night, so when me and my wife got together, we our first date we went to go see Love the Coopers, and that was
I've never heard of that one.
yeah, that one is with Amanda Seyfried. It's like they're like doing like a Christmas dinner. It came out in theaters I think in 2015, I believe.
Yeah, it says 2015.
Yeah, and that one,
Oh, it's got John Goodman.
yeah, it's got a big cast from what I remember. Now I haven't watched it in a while, but I remember we didn't like it. But it's been a while, so I mean, who knows? I mean, I probably have a different mindset now going into it. Um, but yeah, that's like the last one I can remember besides Violent Night that I watched in the theater. Um, I
Yeah.
think it's crazy with the lineup for Christmas, um, especially over the last couple of years. Like I think last week they put like spoiler alert in theaters. I
Yeah,
just
I
I
saw
think
that.
it's odd choice that uh, studios put movies about people dying from cancer like right before Christmas. Like who wants to watch
Yeah.
that? Like they had that, and
Yeah.
then
Let's get the whole family together to see this
right,
really
and last year
uplifting
I
story.
I don't know if you remember if it was I think it was either last year or the year before, but there was one where it was a couple. It was called like All My Life or something, and it was released in December as well. And that guy had cancer too, and it was based on a true story. But it's like
Might
I'm
have
not saying it's
been last
not.
year.
I think it might have been last year. I'm not saying like it's a movie that isn't good or anything, but why are you releasing that around Christmas? Like, lift our spirits a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And
give us something.
then the year before that, we got Wonder Woman 84 on Christmas,
Oh,
like
that was
a
an at
soul
home
crushing
watch.
movie. It's a soul
Yeah,
crushing movie.
that just made you fall asleep.
Yeah.
We really had a
Doesn't make me
silent
feel
night
the
that night.
Christmas joy. Yeah.
We really had a silent night that
Yeah.
night. Because there was no cheering after that thing ended.
Absolutely not. There was asking for refunds after seeing that crap.
I watched mine on HBO. I didn't even go to the theater for that one, I remember.
Lucky, lucky you.
Yeah, so I don't have to
Yeah.
pay for it.
That was like a really, really weird Christmas for me that year because my dad's family was in Chicago for Christmas. So I was out in Chicago, flew back Christmas morning to where I'm at, had Christmas, like, kind of like dinner with my family here. And then
Mhm.
me and my friends went to like a really late showing of Wonder Woman 84 on Christmas
Oh,
night.
wow.
We were like the only people in the theater, and it was just like we were just watching it, like making fun of it the whole time,
Oh, wow.
like in the
Yeah.
movie. It was so bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. And it's just such a shame. I mean, that's why I guess there's not a third one either. So,
Well,
uh,
have you not heard about like the whole WB stuff that happened this week, where they like canceled a bunch of stuff? Like
uh,
basically said they're doing like a whole overhaul of stuff.
I mean, I saw that today, I saw like they changed their logo or something.
No, they like with the DC stuff. No, they said that Wonder Woman 3 is canceled.
Yeah, I saw
They
that.
said that
Superman.
and yeah, like Henry Cavill no longer Superman anymore, and we're not moving forward with a Man of Steel 2,
Hmm.
and that they're kind of just going to restart the DCEU is what it sounds like, which
Yeah.
I don't know, kind of need, but I don't know, kind of walked into a bad situation. James Gunn and Peter Safran, they kind of gotta do what they gotta do.
Yeah. I mean, they have to kind of revamp it mainly because I think that Marvel is going to rebuild momentum as they're building to that whole battle of what is it,
The
Kang or
Kang,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
Kang.
they are building up to that, and I think they're going to get back in the full swing. I think they're going to get people back on board again. I really do. I mean, it may
Yeah,
take a little bit, but they're building towards that. So
yeah. I hope DC can do something like that because like
yeah,
I mean, I like a majority of the DCEU films. I just don't think they necessarily work as like a franchise altogether at some points. But I'm totally down to see like a coherent universe that's DC. I'm not like, no, we never need. I'm not like a naysayer on that, but
I'm honestly like with
just
their
gotta do it
movies.
right.
I'm gonna say honestly with their movies next year, they have what just the Flash and Shazam, right? Or they have something else.
And Aquaman,
That's right.
and I think that's it.
Yeah, and by that lineup, I wasn't a big fan of Shazam. I just wasn't. I mean, I'll go watch it, but I'm not really hyped for that one. And the Flash with the whole crap going down with was Ezra Miller. I'm
Yeah.
surprised they haven't scrapped it. To be honest with you,
Well, that's
um,
like another tricky situation.
yeah,
Like what do you do? Like the movie's like made and like done and there's like ready to go to theaters. Like what do you do? Like if you just like
yeah,
scrap the movie, that's like a massive, massive loss for your theaters of like we just wasted $200 million on this movie. And
yeah,
arguably it's like their biggest project that they have because
right,
you have like no one cares that the Flash is in the Flash movie. People want to see Michael Keaton as Batman back. Like
yep,
that's kind of the main draw of that movie. That's what people want to go see, and
mm,
people will go see that. Like it's going to make a lot of money if you release it, but you can't release it. So what do you
yeah.
do? It's like you are in one of the trickiest situations with that.
I think they lose money either way on it. Honestly,
Yeah, like if you just like if they just keep sitting on it like this and doing nothing, eventually they're gonna not make any money off of it because like I don't know if you know like how studios get funding for stuff for movies, but it's like they go to a bank and they get like a loan from the bank to make the movie, right?
Mhm.
So then they make their movie with the loan from the bank. Then whatever they get back from theaters, let's just say you make $100 million in the theaters. Well, like about half of that goes to the theaters, about like half the
Mhm.
revenue, and then about the other half goes to the studio. I don't know if it's exactly half, but something like that. There's a split, but then the studio has to pay the bank back, and there's
Yeah.
like interest on that and stuff. And so then whatever's left is what the studio gets. Well, the longer you just like let that loan sit at the bank, the more interest it's going to get, and just the
Yeah.
harder it is going to be to pay off. And there's going to be a certain point to where no matter how much money you make on the movie, you're not going to make anything back on it. So it's not
Oh,
very good to just sit on movies like that.
no, I agree. And then and then they have Aquaman, which I don't know how big that's going to be either, because I don't remember the first one being that big.
The first one made like $1 billion, which I don't know, kind of
Oh,
shocked
was it
me.
that
But
much? Okay. Okay. Maybe it's just word of mouth. I'm thinking because a lot of people that I've heard they haven't really liked it that much. So, but
I'm honestly surprised that it made $1 billion. Like I like the first Aquaman, but
mhm.
I don't know. I'm kind of shocked that it made $1 billion. But hey, a lot of superhero movies make $1 billion nowadays. So
Well, yeah, familiar type of
mhm.
uh, franchise. That people are gonna go see it.
Wonder if they'll ever make a Christmas superhero movie. I don't know how they do that. Have they?
I it probably could if they thought of a
The
plot.
Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. There we go. No,
There you go.
no. I don't know. There's like, have you ever like seen the arguments that people have for like, oh, this is a Christmas movie just because there's a single scene at Christmas? It's like,
Yeah.
it's like
Well, I know
no.
there's.
Like some people say like the Harry Potter movies are Christmas movies because he opens the Christmas present under the tree. It's
No,
Christmas. It's like
it's not a cool movie.
no, it's not a Christmas movie.
No,
I don't understand that type of
I've
argument.
heard. I've never seen it. You mentioned Die Hard, but I've heard the arguments at that several times.
Yeah, that's like one of those. That's like one of the longest running debates in like movie history. It's like, is it a Christmas movie? And like, yeah, I think it is. I don't love Die Hard as much as everyone else. I certainly really like it, and I think it's great.
Mm.
But I would say it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of them, so I mean it's on the list to eventually watch.
The ever-growing list. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that list never stops. Never stops. I mean, honestly, I've been so behind. Like, 'cause I'm trying to. I haven't done any lives for myself, and I haven't, because I was on vacation,
Hmm.
and
I
then
saw that. That was pretty cool.
yeah, I was doing all the blogs. So I just posted my last one today. But like, I've been watching a lot of movies. I just haven't had time to sit down and like record a review. Like, I've watched a good 8, 9 movies.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, there's been quite a bit, and then I got to catch up on a few other ones coming up. Because I know like Black Panther and all those are coming up too, so they're gonna be on Disney Plus. I didn't get a chance to watch those, so
Oh, you didn't get a chance to check
I
out
haven't
Black Panther.
watched Black Panther and I haven't watched Strange World. They're both coming to Disney Plus. Uh,
I didn't
Strange,
watch Strange World, but I didn't hear anything good about it.
yeah, it's coming. It's already coming next Friday, the 23rd.
Yeah, that
So
released like the week before Thanksgiving, so like a
yep.
month ago.
Yeah, they're terrible. And then what's funny is they're doing like the full treatment for it too. They're giving it a steel book and like slip and everything. And I'm like, man, that's nice. You can just
That's just
fail and
that's like the weirdest thing to me is like when they'll
yeah,
do all that stuff where they'll give it the 4K, they'll give it the steel book, they'll
yeah,
do that for like the worst movies of the year, and then like you'll be looking for like something for the best movies of the year, and you're like you can barely find the Blu-ray. Like
like Top Gun Maverick, dude. Let me tell you something. I was telling my talking to my friend about it. I will go in stores, dude, and I don't even see that movie like on the shelves, like for a lot of places. Like
mhm,
they didn't even those steel books are like you can't even find them. Like
mhm,
I think it's ridiculous for a movie that was so big. Same thing with like the whole debacle with like Spider-Man when that came out, and they did the steelbook for that, and then remember it was gone, and then they brought it back again. But it's never been in stores. It's like why? Why is that not in stores? Like those are the biggest movies of the year.
mhm.
I don't understand it. So
Yeah. Also, like stuff like the Black Phone,
mm,
which I thought was really good. There's no 4Ks or there's no steelbooks for that. There's only
yeah,
Blu-rays for it. It's like, but then Morbius gets Blu-rays and steelbooks. It's like
gets me to buy it.
it's
I got a
yeah,
copy.
yeah. There's people like us that'll buy that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess word
they
of
know
land.
it.
They know we're dumb enough to do that.
Well, I've been doing now that I've been collecting. I see the games now. I never buy any of the Blu-ray steelbooks anymore because I know they'll eventually make a 4K. So I just don't
Mhm.
bother.
Yeah, there's very few Blu-ray steelbooks that I keep.
So you just buy the 4K ones now, pretty much.
Yeah, I pretty much just buy the 4K ones unless it's like the Shawshank Redemption. This is just the Blu-ray, but I have the 4K DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a 4K steelbook, but I liked just this normal Blu-ray one, like the
Mm-hmm.
design better. Or like sometimes we have like I hit my cord. Okay.
Ah.
We have half price books here. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'll go there and sometimes they'll have like Blu-ray steelbooks. And so it's like, oh, if I'm interested in this movie, it's like the only copy they have that's in steelbook, or if it's like I'll pick it up. Like I have a few of those, but most of the time if it's like new releases, I'll only do like the 4K steelbook if I'm gonna do steelbook.
Yeah, depending on what it is.
Mhm.
I know,
Yeah.
like they just announced the Warm Bodies 4K steelbooks. I'm definitely gonna pick that up.
I've never seen that. Never seen that one. I remember seeing trailers for it though a long time ago, but never seen that one.
I like it. I love that whole apocalyptic kind of setting. Those are those are great. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Isn't it like zombies?
yeah, it's zombies.
I haven't I'm not too big on zombie movies. I've only seen the two Zombieland movies, which both of those are pretty good.
Mm,
Dawn of the Dead by Zack Snyder, which is awesome.
mm,
And then World War Z with Brad Pitt.
that was good.
Uh, I don't know if I've seen any others with zombies. I haven't seen like any of those original like George A. Romero zombie movies.
Mm.
Haven't seen like the 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later,
Yeah, those are older.
but just haven't seen them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, they're those I don't know. I feel like zombie movies have kind of like just kind of gone to streaming services now. Like I feel like every time I open Shutter, it's like, oh, here's
Zombie.
5 new zombie movies.
Yeah, yeah. For a while, I was getting those Shutter screenings. It was those. Um, it's been slowing down lately. I haven't really got like pretty much like anything this month really at all. So I'm assuming it'll start back up here in January. So we'll see. But I don't know though because you heard about Shutter. They're kind of like in limbo. AMC dropped them.
I did not hear this.
Yeah,
And
they
like,
dropped them. So
oh,
I don't know what's going to happen with Shutter. Um,
mm.
so we'll see where the streaming service goes. I don't know. I don't know if like somebody will buy the streaming service or what the deal is, but I don't know.
Hopefully it stays. I like Shutter.
I like that it's cheap.
Well, we have it through Prime. Like it's through our
Okay,
Prime subscription, so it's just kind of like
I got you.
there.
But even for
So it's
me,
not,
$5 is cheap.
yeah. Well, it's also there's not like there's a whole lot of stuff coming out in December and November right now, or
Yeah.
like tail end of November, December. It's a lot of the like Oscar bait movies, which are really good when I go see them, and I really enjoy them.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm not very good at like talking about them. So like I've kind of been pretty sporadic on my channel with like reviews lately because like either it's like last week I fully planned on going to go see the movie The Whale with Brendan
Hmm.
Fraser and then
Hmm.
reviewing it. This was supposed to come out and then just wasn't showing in any theaters near here. And so it's not playing in theaters till the 21st now anywhere near here. It's like weird like that with like some of these more like prestige films where it's like, yeah, this is the date it comes out, but only goes to like 3 theaters.
Well, that's A24. That's how they do that. They always do that. I want to see it too. That one. I mean, I've seen some Oscar ones, but I haven't been too fond of them. Like Tar, I wasn't really big on. I just watched The Fablemans, which wasn't really something that I was really that interested in, and I thought it was okay. I mean, it doesn't do a whole lot for me. The movie was like a lot of drama about Steven Spielberg's like the whole like clash between like his parents and them getting divorced and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Those are like niche movies. Like,
Yeah, I can understand why you didn't care for them all that much. Like, I think I commented on it on your review of Tar of like because you said something about like not knowing all like the musical terms and stuff.
Yeah.
And like when I was watching it, because I was in like choir in high school and all through middle school and everything,
So
I'm like very familiar with like all these musical terms, and like even in high school we performed with a symphony like I don't remember what it's called. I think it was Elijah, whoever wrote Elijah. We like did that whole symphony with them, so like I'm like very familiar with that sort of stuff, and so I like understood all this musical stuff they were talking about, and it made sense to me. But like I 100% understand if you don't have that sort of background, how like a lot of that movie doesn't make sense to you.
Right.
And then also like the Fablemans, like being someone who just applied to like a college for like a film degree and stuff, and like trying to go to college for film degrees, like watching a movie about someone pursuing their love for movies and wanting to make movies is like really resonates with me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's
you have to be interested in the subject matter.
Yeah, with a lot of those A24 films, or not A24, just like
that one wasn't A24,
more prestigious. Yeah, just more like prestigious
Mm-hmm.
Oscar bait movies. Kind of have to, and they're not for like general audiences. Like I'm not saying that you're a general audience, but like the typical person that goes to see like 3 movies a year is not gonna go see Tar. They're not.
Well, they didn't see it anyway because the budget for Fablemans is like 40 million. It only made 7 million.
Yeah,
it's you're not going to get a big response from that. No, if you go in and you lock 100 people in a room and you ask them you want to see the Fablemans, probably at least a good 80 of them probably don't even know what it is, and then maybe 10 of them might say they want to see it, and then a couple may say maybe, and the rest will say no. So it's just one of those movies that it's a very small niche audience. So I mean, and for me, like I don't get like I guess like really into like the lives of like a director. I guess I don't know, maybe because like I just don't. I'm not a director and I don't make movies. I guess I don't know, but I guess it just depends. I mean, it wasn't a horrible movie or anything. I mean, it was a well-made movie, but it's really long. It was like 2.5 hours. So
yes, it was very long.
Just like Tar. So
yeah, wasn't Tar like 2 hours and 45 minutes?
Something like that. All these movies that have been coming out are like really long. So
like Avatar, 3 hours and 15 minutes. My God, I'm pretty sure that's the longest movie I've ever seen in theaters.
It probably is for me too. Besides Titanic.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, Titanic, but that was when I was 9, so I don't remember that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like some of the other longest movies I've seen. Endgame.
Yeah,
isn't it like 3 hour and 1 minute? Watchmen, when I just watched that this year in theaters, like 3 hours and 6 minutes. I want to say for the director's cut.
Well, Zack Snyder's is like 4 hours.
Yeah, I didn't see that in theaters though.
Yeah, that wasn't in theaters though.
Yeah, that is the longest movie I've ever seen though.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough for anything to top that. Apparently, James Cameron handed in like his rough draft of Avatar 3 the other day to like the studio executives, and it's 9 hours long. It's like, bro, you better split that shit up. I'm not watching a 9-hour long movie.
Oh my God, 9 hours.
Oh, like that's like Avatar 3, 4, and 5 right there.
Well, yeah, that's what he wanted to do 5, but he said I think it depending on originally he said, "Oh, we're doing 5," and then like now it's like, well, it depends on what 2 and 3 do. So
Yeah, like the
that was
success of 2, because like I'm pretty sure 3, like 3 is shot and done. It just needs to get like released and like edited.
yeah.
I think they're about to start filming 4, or they're gonna film 4 soon. And it's kind of like if 2 fails at the box office, then they'll stop 4 and 5 and just leave it at 3. I think is what they're
Mhm.
going to do.
Yeah, they I was reading today that the so far total it's made like 50 million already, like
The new one?
worldwide. Yeah,
Right.
worldwide. And then with like early showings or something, I think it's made like 17 million or something. So
Let's look at it.
I think that's what it was when I was reading earlier. Um,
Hmm.
I think that's what it said.
I don't want to spend too long looking this up. Wikipedia. Hmm. It's projected to get 145 million this week domestically, and worldwide 574 million.
It's crazy.
It made $17 million last night.
That's nuts.
So hopefully it does good. I thought it was really good.
Yep. I haven't watched any reviews. I won't watch anything until I watch it. Then I'll watch everybody's stuff. I'm actually behind on YouTube, to be honest with you. Going on vacation kills you, because you get behind a few days and trying to catch up. So
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the first Avatar? I don't know if I asked you that.
I really liked it. I think it, and I've said before that I think that it really changed how, we did the technology with cinema.
Like
And
CGI and stuff.
yeah, I think it's like a staple for it. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
tend to take it for granted a little bit. But I've seen some people like really hate on it, like, oh, it's not the most original premise. I don't really like when people say that much because like you could say that for every freaking movie. You know what I mean? Like every premise has probably been done. It's just a matter of how can you get to the end point, and depending on what the movie is.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. It just
Like
depends.
yeah, we've been making movies for 100 years. Of
Yeah,
course, something isn't going to be
like
100%
yeah, like
original.
any horror movie or like rom com, like it's pretty much been done before most of the time. But it's just a matter of like people watch movies for different reasons, and some people they just casually kind of watch them. Some are like us, where we review them and like entertainment purposes, and we buy them. But like depending on the person and depending on what they particularly like, I mean, it's just going to vary amongst people. But I just think like Avatar should be one that should be appreciated, even if you don't particularly like the movie and the story.
Mhm. Yeah,
You just have to.
there's certainly movies that I wouldn't necessarily say I like, but I appreciate them, and I think
Right.
they're well made and whatever. I can appreciate the craftsmanship that goes into it. Yeah.
Right. And there's a lot of
Also,
movies like that. I
yeah.
mean, sometimes like you can appreciate how it's made, or just like the work that went into it, but it just may not be for you. Um,
Mhm.
and that's kind of the in case of like the Fablemans. It's not really my thing. But I appreciate he made a movie about his life and threw it out there. I mean, that he didn't have to do that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Throw
Yeah.
your life story out there, but I don't know. I mean, at least with that one, at
Oh my
least
God. No,
what is
not the
it?
porn bots.
Oh, look, you're getting famous.
Let's go. Let's go. The porn bots. No, still here.
Block them.
I'm trying to. There's too many of them.
I
Hopefully you can't see that in the chat. Mm.
don't know if I can even see the chat.
Okay, good.
Oh, I can see him now.
Can you see the porn bots?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I blocked them.
69mega.com.
I don't know if you saw, but I did like the live stream where I did the MCU ranking, and I got the porn bots in there, and I was like, I think I was talking about the first Black Panther, and I was like, it was so good that it caused the porn bots to show up. Put user in timeout. The porn bot's in timeout. There we go. That's what you get.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I got it blocked. I got you. Okay, gotcha. But yeah, like the Fablemans, like I said, it's a movie that like I can appreciate, but it's not like something that, you know. I thought there was a thought that I was going to add to that, but I can't remember now. I lost my train of thought.
I was gonna say something about Avatar, like when you said
Yeah.
something about the like technical side of it,
Yeah.
like, and like this isn't necessarily a spoiler for the sequel, but um, when I was watching both of the movies, like, yes, I know it is CGI,
Mhm.
like, you have fully blue characters in this insanely beautiful world, and it's
Mhm.
like not once in the 6 hours of Avatar movie we have
Mhm.
do I like stop and think, oh yeah, that is CGI, because it just looks so good. It looks
Mhm.
so realistic, even though I know it's not real. Like
Right.
it's like that's the biggest compliment I can give to the CGI of those two movies is like I know it's CGI,
Mhm.
but I never thought it was CGI when I was watching it.
Right.
It
Right.
just looks so good.
Yeah. And that he's a good director in general, so
Mhm.
that kind of
Yeah, there's not like a bad James Cameron movie that I've watched at least.
right. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen every movie of his. I don't think I have, but
I haven't seen every movie of his, but I mean, like, out of the ones I've watched.
yeah, yeah, he he has a way of making long movies, but keeping your interest. I mean, Titanic. I mean,
How long
that's
is Titanic?
it's over 3 hours. I don't know the exact runtime, but it's 3 hours and something.
Oh, why can't I find? Oh, yeah, 3 hours and 30 minutes. Ooh, that's a
Wow,
long one. That's
I
a
didn't know it
long
was
one.
that much. I didn't know it was that much.
Hmm.
Been a while since I watched it.
I've only seen it once. It was a
Oh
few years
wow.
ago.
Oh wow.
Because, well, I wasn't
I
alive in '97, so
I can't wait to update it. Excuse
I
me.
think I have it
They're making a 4K for it.
for. Yeah, I have it. That doesn't surprise me that they'd make a 4K for Titanic. It was the
Yeah.
highest grossing movie for a while
They need a
until
steelbook
Avatar
for it.
happened. Yeah, James Cameron back-to-back highest grossing movies of all time with Titanic and Avatar. Good job,
Yeah.
James Cameron.
You know, it'd be really cool is if they had like a steel book, but like a lenticular steel book of Titanic, and have like the ship going, and then have the
Oh,
ship
like
sinking.
one of those things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lenticular. Yeah,
yeah,
and
that'd
having
be
like
cool.
the ship crashing, and then like you could have something with the artwork with like Jack and Rose or whatever, and
Yeah.
you can make a really cool steelbook. But I have a feeling for what I envision of what the steelbook would look like, it wouldn't.
Your vision's a lot better than what it is.
Probably get some like plain
Yeah.
picture of like the cast on the steelbook or something like that. And,
Yeah, yeah.
like you know how they
Um,
are nowadays, especially with like the movie posters. They kind of make them kind of plain, and they just put
oh,
like the
just like
cast on there.
the heads and the symmetrical heads.
Yeah,
Marvel's really bad at doing that with posters. Like it
yeah.
started with like
I watched one with Jacob Martin on his channel called Jingle Jangle Christmas Journey on Netflix.
is that good or was it?
It was not something that you would like because you said you don't like musicals.
Mm, yeah.
So, but I liked it. And then I watched one that Mike reviewed that I had never heard of before. It was called Yours and Mine or something. I watched
Mm,
that
I've
while I
never
was
heard of that.
I watched that while I was on vacation. It's like a British, I think it's a UK like who filmed it or something. Um, but yeah, I watched that and that was okay. But yeah, I've been watching a few here and there, some new ones here and there. But
Yeah, I just watched the first two Home Alones the other day.
hmm,
It's about as Christmas spirity as I've gotten so far. Oh, and
yeah,
I saw the cinema here was doing like a retro showing of Black Christmas. So I went and took my dad to that because he had never seen it before. He didn't know anything what it was. So that was pretty fun.
no,
The
nice.
first thing I asked him after the movie, and I turned to him and I said, "What do you think of those phone calls?" That's the funniest part of that movie. Those
Yeah,
phone
for
calls.
sure.
Hmm.
But
All
yeah,
right. Well, I guess we can wrap this up if that's okay
uh,
with you.
yeah, man,
All
that's
right.
fine.
So Ryan, what do you have coming up on your channel in the next week or so?
So I just dropped my vlog today for Epcot. If anybody is interested in watching my vlogs, I did one on Hollywood Studios, Magic Kingdom, and then I did one when I went to Planet Hollywood and I saw a bunch of movie props. So I did that.
That
And
was
then
really cool. That was really cool. To see
I
all that
enjoyed
stuff.
doing that and filming that. I thought people would really like that, so
Hmm.
I enjoyed filming that. And then, like as far as like reviews, I have a bunch of movies I've watched, but I'm not sure which ones I'm gonna post yet, which ones I'm gonna review. Because I've done some like on Letterbox, and then I've thought about doing like a roundup or something. So I'm gonna do something along the lines this week of some new movie reviews because it's been actually a couple weeks since I posted any movie reviews. I've been doing other videos, so but
Hmm.
yeah.
You think you'll review Avatar once you see it?
Yeah, I'll probably review that one too as well whenever I get
Awesome.
around to it.
Awesome. Well, as far as anything that I have coming up on Monday, actually, me and Anthony from Anthony's Horror and More are going to do a live watch along to Black Christmas, the original
Oh,
one. Hopefully,
nice,
introduce people to that 'cause it's a pretty underrated horror movie. So
nice.
hopefully do that. I don't know if I'll have a review the week of Christmas, and then the week after that's end of the year. So all
Yeah,
the on end of the year lists, top 10 best, worst. And then on New Year's Eve, actually, I'm gonna live stream myself ranking all the movies I saw this year from worst to best.
there you go. That'll
Gonna
be
hit
fun.
100. I'm like 3 away from 100, so it'll be the
Oh
first time I
man,
hit triple digits. I'm so excited.
dang man. There
It'll be fun.
you go.
All right, so that will be it from us on this awesome stream. So thank you for watching in the future, or if you tuned in live, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.
See you later.